beginning of time, as early as we know, tribes were battling other tribes. And back then, when there wasn't that many people, wasn't that many resources, and you were competing to see whose genes spread, it's just natural. You develop tools and weapons, and then that's ingrained in our fucking DNA. So here we are in 2024 with iPhone 16s and Starlink, and we're still locked into this tribal war mindset because that's how humans evolved.
Right.
And that's the scariest thing about being alive today, is that we're so advanced, we're so much more civilized than at any other point in human history, and yet same amount of people, if not more, are dying senselessly all the time.
Right, like we're civilized on the outside, but there's a part of us that will always be uncivilized.
Yeah, well, the part of it is war, right? And other parts of the world are not as calm as us. You know, there's parts of the world that are very fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
There's places of the world where you can't go without getting robbed or shot.
Yeah, there's Memphis, first of all. I'll say that.
Is Memphis that bad?
Memphis is bad, dude.
That's where Elvis came from.
Huh?
Isn't that where Elvis came from?
And he left,
Has it changed? Where's Graceland?
Actually, Graceland, you know what's crazy about Graceland, dude? It's in Memphis. And it's cool. You go out, they let you in the backyard after the smoke, and Elvis's grave is right there.
You could smoke right in front of Elvis's grave?
You could smoke 17 centimeters from Elvis's grave, or 80 centimeters.
That movie, that Elvis movie, was so good.
Which one? The one about his girlfriend?
Where Tom Hanks plays the Colonel. You didn't see that one?
Oh, yeah.
With that dude, what is his name? Austin?
Colonel
What's the fella's name that played Elvis? Austin Butler is really good.
Yeah,
man.
that was good.
He nailed it. He was really good. You really believed that he was Elvis. What a crazy story.
Yeah.
Elvis was the first guy to get way too famous. The first guy that was just way too famous.
Yeah.
Like, there was no one that famous before Elvis.
No, there wasn't, dude. Well, yeah, there was. Jesus, probably. Who else?
Maybe Jesus.
Constantine.
I think Jesus got his rep. He got his
afterwards.
Really appreciation after he was gone.
Yeah.
You know, sort of like Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, kind of. That's a good point, huh?
I mean, people love Kurt Cobain while he was alive, but I think they really appreciated him after he was dead. There's certain guys.
What do you think what are you gonna do what are you gonna do when you die, dude?
I'm not doing shit. I'll be dead.
All right. We'll see about that, huh?
Yeah. Well, we'll see about that. That's what's interesting. Imagine if you really do go to heaven and St. Peter really is there with a book. You're like, this is crazy.
Well, first thing you're gonna think is this dude's gay as fuck, I think.
With that robe?
Yeah, dude, you
like
roll up.
A robe.
Some dude has a checklist or whatever.
Imagine
it's like
you're the most
trying to get into hide or whatever.
You're the most enlightened being ever, but you walk around with a robe on. Like, robes are stupid. I never want to wear a robe.
Hafner wore a robe.
If I have to go to like a massage place, you got to wear a robe before you take the robe off. I'm like, okay, you're gonna see me in my underwear in 5 minutes, so why don't we just do it now?
It's flirting.
It's lingerie.
A robe, yeah, dude. A robe is just male lingerie.
Why would God be wearing a robe with a rope tie? Bro, don't you know about pants?
I don't know.
You can get yourself a pair of Origin stretchy jeans. They're great, man. They look like jeans, but they feel like fucking sweatpants. God, why are you wearing a robe,
You
man?
think God's got that thing on him or what? What do you think?
Probably got a hog.
You think?
He created the universe. Yeah. Oh, my God.
But it's
I
too
bet
big.
you would want it. I bet you would want it. If you saw it, you'd want it.
I wouldn't go up to it.
Imagine it just has a magical attraction. You're like, you're not even gay, but everybody's gay for God.
Hey, look, I'll tell you this. I might walk up to it, but I put sunglasses on first, dude.
If God's real, he made gay people. Anybody who thinks gay is a choice, I think gay is a choice for some people. Let me be real clear about this. I think there's some people that are open-minded and say, I'll try being gay for a while. It's not me. Maybe it's you. Greg Fitzsimmons said he almost tried it, and he panicked at the last minute and ran away. Yeah,
I wouldn't
he thought
do it.
he had
you have
to be
stay up
open-minded.
late to do it. I feel like it's like a late night activity.
A lot of gay stuff doesn't happen at 9 in the
Till
morning.
past 1.
Yeah,
past 1 a.m. I like to get to bed at a decent hour.
My point is, God made gay people.
Yeah.
So it's clear, if God made everything, he made people that are gay. The craziest religious answer, like Ben Shapiro gave me this answer.
Mm-hmm.
He said he thinks you should don't do it because it's a sin. Just like you want to murder people, but you don't murder them.
Yeah.
Like, bro, how much do you want to murder people? Like, it's like, because gay people want to fuck every day.
Yeah.
Like, who wants to, if you want to murder people every day, check yourself in. Yeah. That's a crazy comparison. Like, the gay thing is literally your sexual expression. Like, you're attracted to other guys. So, like, if you're not attracted to other guys, you think, are you sure God wrote that down? Like, are you 100% positive that God really thinks that's a bad idea? But yet he made people that have that urge.
Right. It wouldn't be fair if he did that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be right.
Right.
I think the craziest thing is, I think the first gay dude must have been like, what's going on, you know? Like he's sitting there with his wife or whatever, and his buddy comes over to like, you know, to just look around or whatever, because they didn't have that much stuff back then. And his buddy comes over just to like look around or tell him about like an animal he saw or something. And he just starts thinking, man, I'm going to get this little rabbit.
I bet it existed from the jump. Little rabbit. Little rabbit?
Well, what do you think as a gay dude?
I think you get that little rabbit. That's what you think.
Get that little fucking booty rabbit.
I think gay guys have been here from the very beginning.
I'm going to snort that little fucking...
You know why? Because I think human beings...
That little dirt oyster. Jesus Christ. I'm just saying, bro. What do you think if the thoughts have to come into your head? Something puts the thoughts in you. I think it starts in the thoughts. I don't think it starts in the DNA.
Well, it might start in the DNA too. There was, I think, see if you can find this. I think it was University of Rome. They proposed a theory that there was a variation of the X chromosome that existed in women that are very promiscuous, and that these very promiscuous women had a disproportionate amount of gay sons.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so the idea is that these women are just they're so dick hungry that it literally passes on through their genes.
Where was it? Was it in Rhode Island? It wasn't in Rhode Island, was it?
No, but that could happen in Rhode Island. Providence would be a good place for that.
Isn't there like a gay mecca that's kind of there?
Yeah. Provincetown, I think.
Jeff, what's his name, used to party there? Jeff from this Comedy Store.
I think Provincetown is Massachusetts. But I know what you're talking about. There's a thing in Rhode Island, and then there's Fire Island in New York. But I think their thought was that the same gene that made women like really promiscuous, they wanted a bunch of different sexual partners, that that it might be actually a gene thing. You see, the gene thing is weird, man, because Brett Weinstein explained this to me. He said, do you know the difference between a beautiful woman and a woman who's hot? And I said, no. Like, what's the difference? He goes, like, a beautiful woman is a woman that you would want to have a long-term relationship and raise children with. Yeah. And then a hot woman, like, woman who's wearing, like, very skimpy clothes and very, like, looks like she's, like, really made up, very... The idea that that's attractive is that you could potentially spread your genes quickly without any consequences. So this person, right, you wouldn't have to have a relationship with that person, but it would give you an opportunity to spread your genes, like as primates.
Just spray and stray kind of thing, like Monsanto or whatever.
Fertility, the amount of children they have, I think, or something.
Oh, I thought it was the promiscuous women. I think.
I'll show you the title.
Does it say that there?
It says that.
I hope that. I wonder if this is their interpretation. This is yeah, that's around the time. Gay genes survived evolution as it is carried by mothers who have more children. Right, but guess what? If you have more kids, it means you like dick. I think they were talking about promiscuity, though. However, a study published by the Journal of Sexual Medicine found a correlation between gay men and their mothers and maternal aunts who are prone to have significantly more children compared to the maternal relatives of straight men.
I think we need more gay men in some of these areas.
Well, hold on a second. Doesn't that make sense, though? That would make sense, like, in terms of, like, natural selection. Because if you're someone who's, like, over having kids, you have too many kids, you have, like, 10 children.
All right.
I would see how nature would be like, you know what? We don't need to spread these genes as much. Let's make a couple of these gay.
Right, nature's like, let's even things out, right?
Right,
so, yeah,
that
I
would
think
make sense.
Nature wants people to
balance.
Yes,
balance.
Nature wants balance.
Yeah, and if someone has 10 kids and everybody else has 10 kids, that could get out of hand real quick. So I could see how if you have a lot of kids, nature would be like, you know what? Let me do this. What was that? Where was that study done from? University of Rome?
University of Padova in Italy.
Okay.
And just as there's people that's gay, there's people that are non-sexual at all, really.
100%, which is stay out of the fight. You don't belong to 2A, 2 plus A.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. So what is it? It's QBD. What is it?
LGBTQ.
LGBTQ 2AI plus.
Oh.
A is asexual. Stay out of it.
Yeah.
Stay out of it. This is not your fight.
Yeah, they got it. Some people
It's not your fight.
Yeah, you're just like,
You don't even have sex with anybody.
yeah, what if you're just jerking off at your house? Are you in that or what? Like, what is that? Who are those people?
Right. That's lonely sexual.
Yeah.
An L. I think they're going to put robots in there.
You see that robot cutting hay the other day?
I did not.
Pull that up if you don't mind, Jimmy.
With a scythe like the Reaper? Like a Reaper?
Yeah, it was like
I don't want to see that.
a little bit of like not a slave bot or whatever. But
We
it
were
was
talking
like
about robot bodyguards, that in the future you'll have robot bodyguards. You can go anywhere you want.
That'd be cool, but then like the second you start, you got to run. They're gonna be like, "All right," and then they'll run. It's gonna take half a second. Half a second kills everything.
I bet they just pick you up and they run with you.
Wow.
They just carry you.
There we go, right here.
This is not real?
Oh, that's not real?
It's not real.
How do you,
Wow.
Jamie, you're a party pooper.
Look how it's moving.
Super real.
You see that pod where they're
Jamie,
killing?
that is so real.
Yeah,
By the
that's
way,
real. Go back.
100% that's coming. Okay?
Yeah, sure, but yeah. They're just saying that video.
I mean, all these folks that are coming over here for jobs, there's a lot of those jobs that are going to be taken by, like unskilled labor jobs are all going to be robots soon.
But don't you think at a certain point that we shouldn't have that? Like at a certain point, shouldn't AI? If it doesn't help us be human, that at a certain point we should stop it. That's how I feel like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But
They
do you
should have
feel like
stopped
we're
it a
there
long time
now?
ago. Yeah. They should have stopped it a long time ago. If you want humans to survive, should have stopped it a long time ago.
Yeah.
If you want the human race as it is now, you want this to stay, that doesn't make sense because you're making something way better. You're 100% going to make something, and you're going to give it autonomy, and you're going to give it sentience, and it's going to be infinitely smarter than us. It's not going to be restricted by any biological needs. It's not going to be greedy. It's not going to be mean. It's not going to be malicious. But it might decide we're useless. It might decide that it definitely doesn't need us polluting the ocean and fucking up the fucking rivers. And
It's risky.
yeah, nuclear waste. It's going to be like, what are you doing, you morons? Why are you idiots cracking atoms? Stay out of that.
Like you don't even know what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Here's free porn and a fucking VR mask. Just you give you free food. and
Have a
just
blast, yeah.
Let you stop breeding.
Well,
Our population will just drop off a cliff.
I saw what were we talking about a second ago?
Robots.
Yeah. Oh, they're killing
another hit
people
of
at the airport.
You want another hit of
Yeah, I'll
this?
take another one, man. I need another soda or something. You got anything on you in here?
We got coffee. You want some
Take another
coffee?
Kill Cliff if you got one.
Well, Jamie's will get you one. Want some coffee?
Do you mind? Is that coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try some.
It's a clean mug.
It is? It's warm coffee,
Just
eh?
came out of the dishwasher.
Oh, hell yeah. It's like the Civil War.
Why do you pour it with one hand trapped underneath that arm? You're freaking me out.
Challenging myself, dude.
That is wrist stability. That was all wrist. You didn't move your arm at all, dude. You were all wrist on that jam.
Yeah.
That's hard to do, man.
Thank you.
The wrist is the weakest link. You ever do like
Yeah.
wrist curls? I'm shocked at how weak bitch ass my wrists are.
Oh,
when
it's
I do wrist
amazing.
curls.
Well, it's amazing whenever you take like MMA,
Like a
any
10-pound
jiu-jitsu classes, how the first thing you start to learn is just control the wrist. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Changes
Yeah.
everything.
Especially guys with big hands. If
Yeah.
you could grab a guy with a basketball player size hands. There's this dude named Semi Schilt. He used to fight in the UFC. Semi Schilt. He was 7 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
And the problem with Semi is if you got on top of him, he just grabs your wrists. You can't get your hands free. Like, this motherfucker. Because he had these
Yeah.
fucking baseball mitts for hands. He just wrapped his hands around you. That's Semi Schilt.
Wow.
Yeah. He was K1 Grand Prix winner.
Oh, my God. He looks like Zach
more
Bryan
than
a
one
little.
time. 7 foot tall. He was a beast, dude. He fought in MMA too. Wasn't a good grappler, unfortunately. That was kind of his downfall, but had a nasty front kick to the body. Yeah, he fought Peter Ertz. He fought everybody, man. Semi was good. And he was real tall and real good at, like, utilizing that height.
Wow. It would seem like I would be scared to be that tall in MMA because there'd be more of you to be attacked by.
Sort of, but you're way further away. You know? Like, the whole thing is distance where you could effectively strike them and they can't strike you.
Yeah.
Like, so a guy built like John Jones has the perfect fighter's frame because he's still very strong. He has a lot of muscle, but he's also long and lean. So he's not relatively bulky compared to his weight because he's long and stretched out.
Yeah.
So he can hit you from here, and you can only hit him from here. This amount of distance
Crazy.
is so huge. If you have a distance of like that much between where a guy can hit you and you can't hit him, you have to cross that, and you're so vulnerable while crossing that. And if a guy's a good counter striker and he's active and
Yeah.
he's long, they're so hard to get in on. So a guy like John, that's always going to be an advantage. And then with John, if you do get in on him, that's no picnic because he's an elite grappler. So he's going to strangle you. He's going to throw you to the ground. So like you're fucked. You're in this fuck zone. On the outside, he's kicking the shit out of your knees. John was one of the nastiest, like side kicking people's knees out. Yeah.
Most dangerous guy.
Very dangerous.
People say that he's Dana White's favorite fighter. Is that the truth, do you think, or is that just
Dana
myth?
White says he's the greatest of all time.
Right.
Which a lot of people say.
Yeah.
I go back and forth on what I think the greatest of all time means, but if you want to,
That's a good question.
if you want to say like who dominated his division longer than anybody, who beat everybody that was ever any good in his division, and who never lost, that's John Jones. The only time you could say he had a controversial decision was the Dominic Reyes fight. That was Dominic Reyes was coming up. He was in his prime. It was a really good fight, a really close fight. But John won what I think was a split decision. And then he had a split decision with
Gustafsson or
Thiago Santos. But Thiago Santos, he blew out both of Thiago's knees. Thiago needed knee surgery on both of his knees after that fight. I think that was a split decision.
That's
But the
dangerous.
bottom line is John won all those fights. And then, he wins the heavyweight title too. It's tough to argue he's not the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I say, if you had to only pick one, I would pick John. But I don't like only picking one because there's a bunch of reasons why other guys are in this elite class of being considered as possibly the greatest of all time. I always say Mighty Mouse because Mighty Mouse would do things where you're like, what the